Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are strapping in to figure out which virtual reality app is actually going to give you the absolute best workout. We hear the hype all the time, right? But today we're going strictly by the data to separate the legitimate cardio engines from the glorified tech demos. Let's kick things right off with a truly mind-blowing statistic. 15.32. That is the peak number of calories you can burn per minute playing a VR boxing simulator called Thrill of the Fight. To put that into perspective, that completely destroys the burn rate of your traditional moderate jog. I mean, it can actually exceed the metabolic equivalent of vigorously riding a stationary bike. So here is our data-driven fight card for today. 1. The science of sweat. 2. The workout tier list. 3. The accidental workouts. And 4. Choosing your perfect app. Moving right into Section 1, the science of sweat. We're looking at clinical data versus smartwatches. Let's establish exactly how scientists measure the legitimacy of a VR sweat session, because honestly, it's way more complicated than you might think. Our baseline data today comes from the independent Virtual Reality Institute of Health and Exercise. And look, they don't rely on guesswork. They actually partner with university kinesiology departments to use these high-end $150,000 research-grade metabolic carts. These machines track your direct oxygen and carbon dioxide gas exchange during active gameplay. This kind of indirect calorimetry, it is the gold standard for proving that the calorie burn you're experiencing is a real physiological fact. Which brings us to this fascinating concept called the horror movie effect. And it perfectly explains why your Apple Watch is basically lying to you during a VR game. See, in VR, your heart rate is often spiked by pure adrenaline, sympathetic nervous system stimulation, and sheer emotional excitement. Smartwatches see that high heart rate and assume, oh, they must be sprinting. But in reality, you might just be terrified of a virtual zombie, meaning the watch overestimates your calorie burn by mistaking that pure adrenaline for actual physical muscle exertion. When we look at the peer-reviewed data comparing trackers, the discrepancy is massive. Smartwatches overestimate your burn by about 10%, while standard headset accelerometers actually underestimate it by a staggering 50%. Why half? Well, because accelerometers only measure linear motion through space. They literally cannot detect the massive physical effort of bracing your core or, holding an isometric squat to dodge a virtual obstacle. Now, here is where it gets really cool. High-fidelity VR acts as an active cognitive blocker. It distracts your brain from feeling fatigue. Research shows that when your visual attention is narrowed by the headset, it mutes internal somatic feedback, like lactic acid building up or your muscles getting hot. This reduces your rate of perceived exertion by roughly 12%. You work out harder and you stay in those higher heart rate zones for way longer, simply because the game is distracting you from the pain. It is a real game changer. All right, Section 2, the workout tier list. We're ranking S, A, B, and C tiers. It is time for the main event. We're deploying that clinical data to separate the heavyweights from the lightweight warm-ups. Let's start at the very top with our S-tier heavyweights. Thrill of the Fight delivers an unmatched peak intensity of up to 15.32 calories per minute. It's an absolutely brutal upper body and lateral core workout because it demands continuous anaerobic punches. Sharing that S tier is Supernatural, burning an impressive 12 to 13.10 calories a minute. Supernatural gives you this breathtaking, premium, instructor-led full-body flow experience, and you're doing deep squats and lunges in photorealistic environments like Machu Picchu. And hey, this isn't just theory in a lab. The real-world impact is undeniable. Check this out. Someone losing 135 pounds using VR and pickleball as their only cardio. We consistently see these incredible health transformations from people who have literally thrown out their treadmill routines for rigorous, gamified VR sessions. Dropping down to the highly competitive A tier, we've got two fantastic options depending on your budget. Les Mills Body Combat is incredible for its value. It's a one-time purchase of about $30 that delivers gym class equivalent intensity, burning over 11 calories a minute with martial arts and knee strikes. On the flip side, FitXR operates on a $10 monthly model, but it brings massive, constantly updated multi-studio class variety, covering everything from boxing to HIIT to Zumba-style dance routines. Then in the B tier, we find the absolute classics. Pistol Whip looks like a rhythm shooter, but its secret weapon is that it actively seeks to destroy your quads. You are constantly doing eccentric squats to dodge virtual bullets. Then there's Beat Saber. While it definitely wasn't designed as a fitness app, playing on Expert Plus difficulties can burn 400 to 600 calories an hour. Plus, its massive custom song modding scene gives you infinite cardio longevity without ever having to pay a subscription fee. When you visualize these peak intensities side by side, it's just so clear how hard this tech pushes your body. Giving your all in a VR boxing match can easily go toe-to-toe with, and honestly often exceed, a standard gym session. It pushes your cardiovascular system to its absolute limits. Moving on to Section 3, the accidental workouts. We're talking secret sweats. So these are games that are not marketed as fitness at all, but they're going to trick you into moving and leave you totally drenched anyway. Let's rapid fire through them. Gorilla Tag literally tricks you into doing intense upper body cardio just to survive a multiplayer match by forcing you to bound around using your arms. Racket Club requires explosive court maneuvering. 11 Table Tennis demands such rapid wrist and shoulder micro adjustments that your heart rate spikes purely from intense reflex coordination. And Walkabout Mini Golf, that one is perfect for lighter, active movement breaks. You know, rhythm games that rely on huge sweeping arm motions can accidentally become some of the most efficient upper body fat burners out there. Synth Riders is a prime example of this because it forces you to trace long, continuous lines and lean your body laterally to hit targets. It recruits your core stabilizers and shoulders in a way that burns up to 600 calories an hour when you push it to the hardest difficulties. The community feedback hits the nail on the head here. As one user pointed out, you aren't thinking about doing 30 squats. You are just desperately trying not to get hit by a virtual laser. That right there is the absolute magic of gamified fitness. All right, Section 4, choosing your perfect app by matching goals. Now that we've got all the data laid out, let's lock in a personalized recommendation framework. Because honestly, the best app is really just the one that keeps you coming back. If your goal is maximum calorie burn and absolute upper body exhaustion, Thrill of the Fight is your undisputed champion. If you need a coach yelling in your ear to keep you motivated with guided cardio, you're going to want the structured classes of FitXR or Supernatural. If you want to build leg strength, boot up Pistol Whip. And if you just want pure fun where the physical effort is completely disguised, grab Synth Riders or jump into a lobby in Gorilla Tag. Now, to build a truly sustainable routine, there are a few rules. If you take away nothing else from this explainer today, hear this. You must buy a $15 to $25 sweat-proof silicone face cover. The default foam on your headset is basically a sponge, and if you plan to actually sweat, it's going to get ruined. Gross, right? Beyond that, start small, do manageable 20-minute sessions, and make sure to mix your intense boxing classes with fun rhythm games so you don't burn out. And here is a very quick, very important reality check for us all. While VR is an incredible engine for cardiovascular health and stamina, true weight loss still requires kitchen discipline. You can burn 400 calories in Beat Saber, but you can eat 400 calories in about 2 minutes. VR is the catalyst, but your diet, that's the foundation. So, to summarize everything we've uncovered today, VR fitness is entirely, absolutely legitimate. The clinical metabolic data proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. But as we've seen, not all apps are created equal. By using this tier list, you can guarantee that your sweat equity is invested in the exact right place to get you the results you actually want. Now, I want to hear from you. Which VR game has given you the most unexpected workout? What is that one game you booted up just to play, only to take the headset off an hour later completely drenched? Drop your accidental workout stories in the comments below. Keep moving, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next explainer.